I cheated on my wife 3 years ago. She agreed to forgive me if we opened the marriage, but now I live in agony every day. So basically my wife 39 found out that I 41 have been hooking up with a woman I met online who lived 2 hours away. When the woman visited, we checked into a hotel. This went on for 3 months and we had met a handful of times when my wife caught us. She was waiting in the hotel lobby and saw us coming down from the room. She left me the next day. We separated for 8 months and they were terrible on all of us, especially the children M9, F7 and F3. We started talking about getting back together. My wife thought that since our time life wasn't enough for me, and that she was sure I will cheat on her again, we might as well open the marriage. I told her no because I've learned my mistake, but she wouldn't waver. I relented. We decided she did not to tell each other the when, where and with whom. Now, over 2 years later, we are back to normal on the outside. On the inside I'm dying a little each day. Every time I see her happy I wonder if this is just her old bubbly self or if she was thinking of someone. She is a very beautiful woman and I'm sure she has no problems finding men who want her. Whenever she takes a shower after coming home, whenever she rejects my advances, I think that she has been with someone and that kills me. I have tried to discuss closing the marriage again, but she shuts these attempts very quickly with the divorce card. Before all this happened we had amazing time several times a week, but now, we have probably done it 4 or 5 times these past 3 years. She demands I use protection and she refuses to let me eat her or make her CM in any way. I stopped asking because the time is painfully bad now. I haven't slept with anybody else because the look on my wife's face in that lobby still makes me sick with guilt. I don't know how much more I can take. I love my wife and I want to spend the rest of my life with her. Will she ever stop punishing me? Have you ever forgiven a cheating spouse and stopped punishing them? What's going on in her head? Redditor's reactions update after. Redditor 1, it was over the moment you cheated. And her wanting open marriage means it's 100% over, she just doesn't want the divorce legal issues. Redditor follow up, yep. She's with him for the kids. Revenge orgasms are keeping her happy. Redditor 2, had amazing time 4 or 5 times a week, you screwed the pooch and now you get no cooch. Redditor 3, what's going on in her head? You ask? Op? Here's my guess. He betrayed me, I don't love him anymore. I will tolerate him for as long as I can, hopefully until youngest graduates high school. My kids deserve stability, not splitting time between 2 crappy apartments, possibly losing friends, possibly changing to an inferior school district. And they certainly don't deserve the random women my husband, with his poor judgment, would inflict on them as stepmom wannabes. And I certainly don't deserve to have my standard of living decline through divorce. I played by the rules, was loving and faithful. I didn't sign up to be a single parent of 3 for 50 to 75 to 90% of the next 15 years. It grosses me out to be intimate with my husband at all now, but I can do a handful of times a year if that keeps him from being such a sad sack around me and the kids. It's weird how once I caught him cheating, he just doesn't find other women so exciting. Oh, well, not my problem. Update, I cheated on my wife 3 years ago. She agreed to forgive me if we opened the marriage, but now I live in agony every day. Thank you everybody for the reality check. The general consensus that I gathered from the comments, I never thought there will be so many, I'm still reading them, is that you believe that my wife doesn't love me anymore. It's probably the truth. She is staying with me for the children and I fully understand her. I love my children too and I want to be in their lives all the time, every day. We have worked so hard for the beautiful life we have and we did it all primarily for the sake of our children. I will not ruin that now for selfish reasons. I have decided to stop hoping, wanting, demanding love and forgiveness from her. Instead I will accept that I will always live with this guilt. That's only fair. I will enjoy the other aspects of our marriage. Like raising our beautiful children with an amazing person like her and watch them grow up to be the good human beings they are. I will always love my wife and I will always regret what I have done, but I need to move on too. I'm going to seek help for my mental health and probably start seeing other people too when or if I'm ready. Redditor's reactions story 2 after. Redditor 1, it might be a good idea to broach this with her. Is an open relationship the best thing for your family, or should you go your separate ways and co-parent amicably? A marriage without love leaves you open to resentment and that can only be contained for so long. Don't assume that your children won't feel or be aware of this resentment. You're modeling what a romantic relationship looks like to them. It's a big responsibility. Redditor follow up, yep, better to separate instead of living a lie which will make your children emotionally damaged. Redditor 2, just one thing, kids will feel the tension, but won't understand it. Been here, and I was crying myself at night for my parents to get separated because I hate to live with them because I knew they hated each other. I was 8. Don't do the same mistake. Divorced parents is always better for kids than married parents who hate each other. Redditor follow-up, I remembering begging my parents to get a divorce for a decade prior to moving out. Redditor 3, I am feeling sorry for your kids. Redditor follow-up, same. Imagine knowing that your father was ducking around when you were just born, and your mother feeling so broken while she just gave birth to you. Freshly out of the hospital while daddy was searching for some partners. I could never forgive my father for that. He had his priorities that weren't his family. Story 2, my wife is encouraging me to cheat on her. I know the title sounds terrible, but hear me out. I 24 male and my wife 24 female are a very happy couple, and I'm serious about this. She's perfect for me in every way possible and always has been since I jokingly started dating her in elementary school. Yes, we're elementary school sweethearts, so now as a married couple I'm absolutely devastated to even think about the fact my wife wants me to cheat on her. For context on this, she came out to me when she was 15-16 saying she was an as-time-ul woman and that if we were ever married she can't get down and get intimate with me. I was okay with this since my S-time drive wasn't that high and I can live without not doing it because I loved her. But now after 2 years of marriage and 17 years of knowing and loving her, she expects me to cheat on her and I don't know what to do. This all started when I mentioned about how I haven't had S-time with anyone yet because I've only ever dated her on a call with my friend, and I laughed it off. He told me I should cheat and just do it with others if I get in the mood, and I declined it saying she would KLL me if I do. I'm guessing she overheard that because since then she's been bringing up really nice and pretty women saying stuff like, oh yeah, you should sleep with them and so on, and it's making me miserable since the look she has when saying these stuff is absolutely heartbreaking. I have no intention of cheating on her or even doing it with others even with her permission because it would make me feel like it since I've loved her my whole life. I tried to talk to her about it, but she still put the offer on the table saying I can do it without her getting mad. Still, this doesn't seem like a big issue, but it's really eating me up inside. I really don't want her to feel guilty for something she can't control. Also, just in case you guys might ask, why did you marry her if she can't provide you with love making or something? It's because I love her to bits. She's the funniest and sweetest girl I've ever met, even down to looks and smarts. And as for why can't you just tell her you won't, I did already, but she just doesn't seem to believe that I am satisfied with the no intimacy in our relationship. So what do I do? Story 3, I cheated on my then pregnant wife 26 years ago and lost the chance to know my daughter. About 26 years ago I cheated on my then pregnant wife, which I fully accept was 100% without a doubt a situation where I was fully in the wrong. I quickly admitted to it and she understandably went ballistic. She told me I'd never see my child ever and that she was gonna ream me dry with child support. Honestly, the first few weeks I tried to mend things. I told her that I'm not looking for forgiveness, but I am sorry. I at least wanted to be a part of my daughter's life, but she was understandably angry and she stood by what she said. She did what she said that she would do, and I honestly wanted it all to end without too much stress, so I didn't even bother with a lawyer. I lost the house, the car and everything I owned, and I had to move back to my parents' house, where I got the scolding of a lifetime. They S it on me for a week straight, but again I deserved it, so I never thought to fight back. I quickly bounced back since I had a pretty good job and moved to an apartment, and it had been a few months, so I tried to contact her again. I just wanted her to let me have a relationship with my daughter at least. She had been born at the time and I wanted to see her, nothing more. She still refused and told me that I'm never gonna see her ever again. Well, at that point I was at an all-time low. It was clear that I had made a mistake to not try fighting for the right to at least see her, but it was too late to think about this, so after a few months of depression I got over it and started dating again. It took a few dates, but I found a new girlfriend. When we got serious I told her all about my past, my previous wife, my cheating and my daughter, and she was aware of everything I had done, but she chose to trust that I would never do it again. 24 years later I've almost moved past all that. I'm married with 2 beautiful kids and honestly life's great. I still have thoughts and curiosity about my daughter, but from what I can gather from my ex-wife's social media, she married a brilliant guy and they raised her well and even gave her a brother. She inherited my hair and eyes and was a swimmer and excellent tennis player like me. She did well in school and graduated salutatorian. She got into college and my ex-wife gave me a chance to chip in for a car to celebrate that achievement. It was medical school and she's currently a first-year resident. I wanted to be a doctor once upon a time, but I could never hack it in medical school, and seeing her succeed where I failed is a joy, but she doesn't know me. Not even a little bit. She doesn't know what I look like, she doesn't know who I am, and it doesn't seem like she's interested. I guess that is probably why my ex-wife gave me an opportunity to talk to her back when they were trying to get her a car for college, and she wanted to know if I still wanted to meet her back when they asked me to chip in for the car. Thinking back, I don't think it was about the car, as they could have afforded it on their own. They are pretty well off. They could have financed it if they weren't. I think my wife was trying to open a chance for me to get some kind of relationship with her before it was truly way too late, but I felt like it was way too late at that point. I told her that she should feel free to tell her about me, and if she ever feels the need to meet me for herself, I'd be more than willing to do so. It's been almost 4 years since then and she hasn't reached out. My wife told me that she's not really interested in meeting me since she already has a great father. She said she told her about the car and all, how I tried to be in her life in the earlier years and that I never missed payments for her child support. She said she doesn't really know me, but she appreciated the gesture. It doesn't seem like she's ever gonna be open to meeting me, and all I can do at this point is try my hardest to forget about her. It kinda sucks that I did this to myself, and even though I love my wife and kids and my life is great, I feel terrible that she's better off without me and I don't have a way to get to know her. All I can do is be proud from a distance, as she's not planning on approaching me. I've thought about approaching her and at least becoming acquaintances and introduce her to her half-sibling, but at the same time I don't want to be the one who reaches out. I want it to be her choice because I took way too long back and I should have persisted because I've missed way too much of her life to consider myself anything to her. She's right, she already has a great father. Getting involved with her will make no difference. We're pretty much strangers. I just wish that she could at least meet her half-siblings. No good reason for it, just some kind of relationship with a person I can't even call my daughter anymore. I just regret the people my stupidity ultimately robbed. My parents had a grandchild they died without meeting. I don't think they even got to see a picture of her or find out how she did in school. I basically robbed my whole family of the opportunity to get to know her. Above all else, she's family and I believe they would have gotten along. I can't change that now, but I just wanted to get it off my chest. Thanks if you read until this far. My kids are also aware that she exists. She's also aware of them, but me and my wife agreed that we'll only ever try and arrange for them to meet up if they themselves want to meet up. Redditor's reaction. Story 4 after. Redditor 1. A post worthy of the sub. Redditor 2. At any given point you could have gone to custody court and got your rights. That is on you. Cheating is not a valid excuse in the court of law for her to take away your right to see your kid. You gave tie up. You didn't lose anything. You made the choice to not seek a court-ordered custody agreement. Redditor follow-up. For real. 26 years. He tried to spin it all in his favor but still doesn't add up. He could have gone to court and paid for it with his good job, but after a few months of depression he got over it? Love that he needs to mention that his family gave him a hard time for a whole week. Then met a woman after a few dates and started over. Such a weird "I'm so deep and sensitive, please validate me" type of post. Super short timelines for everything except his years of being an absentee father. The part where he says she appreciated him paying his child support on time, lol what? This post is all kinds of bad vibes. Edit. Just wanted to add that this entire post he keeps claiming he knows he's in the wrong, though it's framed like he's the victim. It's obvious that a lot of info is missing. Ending it off with him putting the onus on his daughter to have to reach out to him, and implying she should, while also trying to paint it as if he understands if she doesn't, but then he brings up the kids, ignoring that he was the one who abandoned her. Very manipulative. Redditor 3. I find there's levels in cheating, and the absolute worst is when you're cheating in the middle of your carrying your child. I don't think it was right of her to weaponize the baby against you at the time, but gosh, I can't even imagine being in a situation like that to begin with. However, you share some blame to this, as well as you didn't really seem to care too much to fight to see your baby, as you definitely could have. You gave up quickly and decided to take the easy route and start a new family. If I was your daughter, I would secretly resent you for it and can see why she has no interest in reaching out. There was multiple chances throughout the years to try, even your ex seemed to try later on, but it seems to me you tried to forget it ever happened. You also mentioned you had a good job, so affording a lawyer wasn't out of the question, you just didn't care enough to. Redditor follow up. As someone who's been cheated on while pregnant twice, I agree with everything you said. Story 4. My GF cheated on me when I was about to propose to her. I 25M caught my GF 24F in bed with another guy. Last week I came early from work to surprise her with a custom ring I made myself that I have been working on for 4 months. Spent 2 months making a smartphone app just for us that includes all our memories together, all our pictures, our favorite songs, our favorite quotes, all our drawings, etc. Spent 2 full weeks on a drawing that I made of us together. And it was the first drawing that I actually liked how it looks. I told her friends and my friends that I am proposing to her today and told them to keep it a secret, and everyone, including me, were excited. These stuff are just what I did for the proposal. When we started living together, I changed the painting in the room to her favorite color, lights that change on voice command, and some other stuff. I did all that just to make her happy. These stuff are stuff you can see. I gave her all my attention, all my time, all my efforts, bought her so many gifts, always stayed with her whenever she needed me. More than once I left work because she needed me in emergency. More than once I stopped at the side of the road because she has important stuff to tell me. When I'm not around and sleeping somewhere outside the house, I would leave my phone unmuted in case she needed me. These are just few things I've done for her. I never asked anything in return, and she really never done anything for me anyways, and I was okay with it. All I wanted was her to stay loyal. So yay, I came home with the ring in my hand and all the surprises ready to show her, but saw her with another guy on our bed. I will skip all the stuff I did and just say I kicked them both outside. She said he is better than you anyways. He understands me and I am happier with him. That was last week. I barely ate anything this entire week and couldn't sleep for 2 days. Her friends stopped talking to her and I am happy that I have people around me, but I still cry over her every day since it happened. I gave her the world and all I wanted from her is to stay with me. I don't understand what I did wrong. I feel a little better now, but it still hurts me so much. I am planning to sell the house and look to live somewhere else so I can forget her. I know she reads a lot of Reddit stories, and I know one day she will see this. I won't mention your name, but I hope one day you get the same pain I had. You almost killed me without touching me. I hope you're happy. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, you dodged a bullet op. Take that as a blessing in disguise. I'm so sorry for what you went through. I hope you're able to heal from this one day. UX is trash and doesn't deserve you. Redditor 2, you found a selfish soul sucker and I'm glad you caught her before you proposed or got married. You dodged a huge bullet. I know it hurts now but it will get better with time. I wouldn't put it past her to try to come back to you because of everything you provided her. Don't fall for her acid. Redditor 3, first you mentioned I never asked for anything in return, and she really never done anything for me anyways, which is huge red flag. A partner in healthy relationship will do stuff for you without you having to ask male or female. Honestly, if I were you I'd take this as a blessing. You were about to ask someone who doesn't respect or value to be your wife. If anything I think you should be smiling right now. However, I get you were in love with her so this will sting. Remember this is for the best. My honest advice for you is to cry and let out your emotions now. Talk about it, work through it, and most importantly don't bottle it up. Block her with zero contact. Use the next 3-6 months to work on yourself and become a better version of yourself. By this time if you're ready to start dating you'll be healed and better version of yourself. Stay strong. Redditor follow up. Exactly. I can't even count the number of times my wife gave me little surprises to show her love. If there is no effort, love dies. Op. Find things you enjoyed before you met her and do them. Stay away from movies or music that you enjoyed together. Someday you will be able to listen to them again without pain, but for now avoid them. Cry but don't let yourself wallow in the pain. Spend time with your friends, they will help you immensely. And last, remember that her actions are not a reflection on you. There is no excuse for cheating. Period.